Welcome in, everybody. Today we're diving deep into the life of Stephen North and his journey. It's a story that I think a lot of us can connect with.
Yeah.
That feeling of growing up different, not quite fitting in.
Yeah, definitely. And Stephen's story, I mean, it goes way beyond, just the typical coming of age narrative. It's not just about him finding his place in the world. It's about discovering that he's connected to something much, much larger than himself.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And the way he gets there, it's full of these unexpected twists and turns. We're going to go from, him taking apart electronics as a kid all the way to connecting with crystals and pure source energy.
Yeah, we're going to touch on it all. And
Yeah.
and we'll see how all of these experiences kind of culminate in this really pivotal year for him, 2016, where he starts interacting with these beings he calls ascended masters. That's when things really start to shift for him.
That's when he really starts to understand who he is and what his purpose is. So let's rewind a bit. Go back to his childhood. Stephen was a curious kid, loved electronics, always tinkering, taking things apart to see how they worked, all while dealing with ADHD.
It's almost like, looking back, those early experiences foreshadow his later work with complex systems and energies. You have this kid fascinated by the inner workings of a gadget, and then later on he's exploring these intricate energetic systems, both within himself and the planet.
Yeah, it's like he was always drawn to understanding how things work at their core, even if it didn't quite fit in with what everyone else was doing. But even with that curiosity, Stephen talks about struggling to find where he belonged. He was always searching for something more, a deeper sense of self.
That feeling of not belonging, it might stem from the fact that Stephen believes he's embodying a collective consciousness, what he calls an oversoul.
Okay, so we're not just talking about an individual here. We're talking about being part of something much bigger. What does that even mean?
Think of it like a vast network of interconnected consciousness, like the internet, but for thoughts and experiences. Stephen believes he's a part of this network, embodying a fragment of this larger consciousness.
Whoa. No wonder he felt different growing up. That's a lot to process, especially as a kid.
Absolutely. Navigating adolescence is tough enough without that added layer of feeling like you're carrying the weight of a collective consciousness. And he talks about his energy constantly shifting, sometimes even frightening others because of it.
Wow. That must have been incredibly isolating. And then 2016 comes along, a pivotal year for him where everything changes. That's when he starts receiving guidance from these ascended masters.
These ascended masters, they become these crucial guides in Stephen's journey, offering him these profound insights and referring to him as the systems expert, the engineer, the code. It's like they see beyond his individual identity and recognize his role within this larger consciousness.
Right, and it's not just telling him who he is, it's hinting at a mission, a purpose that extends beyond his own personal experience.
Yeah, they're activating a potential within him that he might not have discovered on his own.
So we have this young man who always felt different. Later, he understands himself as part of a group consciousness, this oversoul. Then in 2016, these ascended masters start calling him the planet's engineer. Where does this incredible journey lead him?
Well, that's where things get really interesting. Stephen starts to explore the world of crystals, seeing them as a conduit to pure source energy. And that concept, that becomes central to his understanding of his mission.
Okay, now I'm hooked. Tell me more about this connection to crystals and this pure source energy. What exactly does he mean by that?
So for Stephen, crystals are more than just, pretty rocks. He sees them as these energetic tools, a way to tap into this primal force, this pure source energy. It's not the same as, electromagnetic energy we usually think of with technology.
Okay, I'm following you so far. So what is this pure source energy then?
Well, think of it like this. Imagine the universe is a vast ocean of energy, right? Everything we experience in our daily lives, electricity, light, radio waves, those are just waves on the surface of that ocean. But crystals, according to Stephen at least, they allow us to go deeper. They're like a way to tap into the depths of this energy, the pure source itself.
That's a pretty powerful image.
Yeah.
So he's saying crystals can bridge our world with this deeper level of energy.
Exactly. And this pure source energy, it's key to everything for Stephen. Healing, transformation, even planetary evolution, it all comes back to that.
Okay, so let me see if I've got this right. We've got Stephen, who feels different growing up, right?
Yeah.
Then he learns he's part of this oversoul, this group consciousness. Then in 2016, boom, these ascended masters show up, and they're calling him the planet's engineer. Now he's connecting with pure source energy through crystals. So how does it all tie together? What exactly does he believe his mission is?
It's all about the Earth's energy systems. Stephen believes the Earth is like a human body. It has its own energy system, very intricate. And just like our bodies, it can become imbalanced, sick even.
And he sees himself as the one to fix it.
Well, he believes his purpose is to help reactivate and rebalance those Earth energy systems, like a planetary healer.
Now, I'm all for, personal growth and all that, but planetary engineering, that's a bit out there, don't you think?
Hmm.
What does he actually do? Does he, like, bury crystals in specific spots or something?
Not quite that literal, but he does use his understanding of crystals and energy in interesting ways. One example is his work with what he calls heart activation music. He actually uses crystals in his music.
Hold on, he puts crystals in the music. How does that even work?
It's more about the energy. He believes those crystals imbue the music with a specific frequency, a healing energy that can help transform the listener.
So it's like he's composing energy instead of notes.
Exactly. And it highlights that idea that everything is connected. Even music can be a tool for healing and transformation.
Yeah, it makes you think, right? Right. What if we're all more connected than we realize?
That's one of the things Stephen really emphasizes. We're all part of this web of energy. And our actions, our thoughts, they have ripple effects. They go way beyond ourselves.
So it's not just about him fixing the planet all on his own. It's more about showing people this, helping them understand so they can be a part of this too.
Right. It's about recognizing that connection and that we all have a role to play. That by tapping into this pure source energy, we can heal ourselves, each other, and even the planet.
This is some mind-blowing stuff, I have to admit. It's a lot to take in. I mean, the idea of ascended masters talking to Stephen and giving him instructions, that's pretty far out there. What exactly were they telling him? What kind of guidance was he getting?
Well, their guidance was very specific. It wasn't just vague spiritual stuff. They gave him real insights, almost like a cosmic blueprint for his mission.
Okay, so they weren't just saying, go save the planet. They were giving him a plan. What does that look like?
Yeah, it was more than just a general call to action, like save the planet or something. They gave him real specific instructions, almost like a cosmic blueprint or something like that.
Okay, so what did this cosmic blueprint look like? What were they telling him to do?
Well, one of the key things was this idea of reconnecting to the Earth's original blueprint. Imagine the Earth like this intricate machine, right? Perfectly designed to work in harmony. But over time, things have gotten out of whack, right? The system's imbalanced. Stephen's role, at least according to these ascended masters, is to bring it back into balance, to help the Earth get back to that optimal state.
Okay, so it's not about just, fixing what's broken, but restoring the Earth to its original purpose, its intended design.
Exactly. And they said that involves a shift in consciousness, not just for Stephen, but for all of us. As we become more aligned with our true nature, with that pure source energy, the planet will heal too.
So it's like we heal ourselves, we heal the planet heals, we heal.
Right, exactly. But I mean, that sounds like a pretty massive undertaking. How can one person, even someone like Stephen, shift the consciousness of all of humanity?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
Well, the Ascended Masters, they told him pretty clearly that his role wasn't to save the planet all by himself. He's more of a catalyst. He's supposed to awaken people to these concepts, inspire them to be a part of the solution.
So all of his work with crystals, the heart activation music, everything he teaches, it's about raising awareness, giving people the tools to become these planetary healers themselves.
Right. And they told him to embrace all of his experiences, even the stuff from his childhood, his understanding of systems, that connection to pure source energy through crystals. It's all part of this mission.
It's amazing how all the pieces of his life fit together. Like even the struggles, the challenges, they were all leading him to this.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? What if all those times we felt lost or confused, they were actually guiding us towards something greater?
It's a whole new way of looking at things.
That's the beauty of life, right? It's all about discovering who we are, our role in this whole grand scheme of things. Sometimes the things that make us feel like outsiders, like we don't belong, those are the things that lead us to our greatest potential.
Stephen's story is a perfect example of that. He followed his intuition, listened to that inner voice, even when it led him down a path less traveled. And because of that, he found a purpose that's bigger than himself, this mission to heal and awaken not just himself, but the planet.
His story really is an invitation to all of us. What if we can all tap into that same wisdom, that guidance? What if we all have a role to play in this planetary transformation?
That's a powerful question. And maybe just asking it is enough to open us up to a whole new world of possibility. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the life of Stephen North. We hope his story inspires you to embrace your own unique path and explore your potential to create a more awakened and harmonious world.